Welcome to Surviving as a Civilian, the AAR. I am your host, Scott, here with my co-creator and co-host for this episode, Andrew Collis. Andrew, welcome aboard.
To the top.
To the top. Andrew, this week we are going to talk about Travis Hodsdon's interview, and I would like to get your input on it.
I liked it a lot, actually. It was, I actually learned a lot. I think that you did a great job by going back and really breaking down, that National Guard deployment and how they had to stay sober for, 60 days before it and stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of regular Army people don't know about that stuff either. I only knew about it because I did active component, reserve component time working with those guys. But I liked his interview overall just because he was able to compare, like you said, the difference between A-capping or SFL tap out of the regular Army versus the National Guard, and how it was just, the regular Army gave you all these classes, et cetera, and then the National Guard was just like, here, sign this, you're done.
Yeah, I think that whoever runs that National Guard stuff should probably come up with a better transitioning process to let soldiers go out. And yeah, I don't remember if he said it or not, but did he say that he had to do transitioning classes when he went back off active duty and back to the National Guard?
I don't remember. I don't know if he did or not. He most likely had to have, right? You talk about going back into the National Guard if he had to go through like what you do at basic training without all the yelling and stuff?
No, I'm talking about A-capping from active duty. Or were they, when he went back to National Guard, is it so the way I think about it in my dumb head is it's a new contract, right? So he's completing his active duty contract and then signing a new contract with the National Guard. So would he had, I don't remember if he said it or not, but did he have to do ACAP and all that, or did he just have to clear the base and then go to National Guard?
Huh, that's a good question. One of the other things I liked about one of the other things I liked about his, and I didn't really, I guess I really haven't thought about, is what's it like to have to be that guy that gets the call in the talk. When he said he heard that the colors battle roster number get pulled up. I never really thought about what it's like to probably have to be in there, knowing you're absolutely helpless in that situation, and it's got to be heartbreaking, I can imagine, right?
Yeah, and so the way I looked at this is let me break it down in my head. So he had all the battle roster numbers in his book, and when a hero flight came in or someone was wounded, he would receive the battle roster number and make note of it or whatever he had to do in the talk. So he's done that process probably, 100 times before he saw Color's battle roster number. And so when he was doing the people that he didn't know, it was probably very little. He didn't even think about it. He was just doing his job, But that day when he saw Colors, and he actually knew the person, and it probably changed that job, that process in his head forever after that. Once he saw Colors battle roster number, it reinforced in his head that, oh yeah, these are real people.
Right, they're not just the numbers that you're reading off. They're actually, and then, probably the worst thing too is that, yeah, that happened to Colors, but think of all the other battalions that lost people too, and more than one person that have been going through that RTO or whatever he was at the time. I think Battle NCO is what he called himself. That happens a lot too, and the unfortunate thing is, even that though they weren't an engineer, you still kind of, it's a sad feeling. I know when I was on patrols and I would hear an explosion, right? And this is not even close to the same, but when I would hear an explosion and you'd almost be relieved it wasn't one of your guys, but you still feel horrible that it happened to somebody. You know what I mean? It's a weird psychology type thing to. It's almost like self-preservation. First of all, that you're not hurt, right? Second of all, that one of your guys aren't. But then there's still the human factor that somebody did lose a leg or hit something, right?
Yeah, and you reminded me of that military slogan, better him than me. And once you're at war for a long time and you see a lot of injuries and a lot of death, it kind of, especially when you're in the moment, you kind of like block it out and like numb your feelings, and it's hard. It's hard to do, but yeah, it is real people, real numbers going across, and it's for him. Once he saw colors, that job had to change every day after that, forever.
Yeah, for me, so one of the things that, it's a kind of a catchphrase in the military, but they always say, don't let complacency set in, and you hear that 1,000 times, you're like, whatever, dude, but, for me personally, complacency would set in, and it's the absolute wrong way to go about it. But like when I would be out on a patrol with you guys or with you guys, and we hear that explosion, we knew somebody got hit or an explosion went off. You feel relieved, and you shouldn't. But I personally kind of relax a little bit because I kind of let complacency set in a little bit because which was stupid because there's more than one IED out there. You know what I mean? But
yeah, all you know now. The only thing that changed then was you knew where one was. But there are plenty more out there. I got a question for you, Scott.
Yes, Andrew.
Did you ever witness the Taliban stepping on their own IED, and what feeling did you have during then if it happened?
I never saw anybody do that. I never saw a Taliban guy do that. Although we would get occasionally you'd hear an explosion. I think this only happened to me twice in my third and fourth deployment. But you'd hear an explosion, and like maybe an hour later, a guy would come up and say, "Oh, I just cut my hand on something," and it happened two times that I remember specifically. The funny thing is when it happened on the guy on my fourth deployment, we went and no, this was my third deployment. We went and searched this guy after he had it because that's when he had the X-spray. Remember the X-spray used to spray on the Taliban's or people's hands that it'd say whether or not they had explosive residue on their hands?
Yes.
So we did that to him, and it came up with it, after the medic bandaged him up. And then we had the Afghan National Police, the ANP, search him, and he had a Uzbekistan ID card on him.
I don't know what that is.
Uzbekistan is one of the countries surrounding Afghanistan, but they used to have fighters. They would pay for fighters from that country to come over and fight for the Taliban. There was no reason for an Uzbek to be inside of Afghanistan except for it to be a mercenary, essentially. That's so obviously we detained that guy. Didn't
Chechenians, weren't they mercenaries too for Taliban?
Yep, that was another one too. Yep.
And those they were like white people, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So they kind of stuck out like a sore thumb in Afghanistan. But I remember their snipers. Our first deployment, we got intel that they were around. All right, back to Hodsdon. Ready?
Yep.
The funniest fucking thing of the whole interview was when his Marine uncle pulled him aside and was like, "You don't have what it takes."
Yeah, that had to have been. Hey, you gotta appreciate the guy's honesty. But as a young kid, he was real young when he joined. But as a younger man and thinking you're full of piss and vinegar and unstoppable, and then have one of your family members take a long, hard look at you and be like, "Nah, bro, you might want to try this other thing." But hey, like I said, you gotta appreciate the uncle's honesty.
Yeah, I started laughing as soon as I heard that. That was awesome. And a good takeaway from his uncle telling him that he can't be a Marine was the way he took it. He didn't take it as like an attack. He took it as like, he's like, I respect him. I respect his opinion. So I'm just going to take it to heart and move on.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I don't know how I would have taken it. I probably would have been pissed at him, but would have probably done some self-assessment, been like, yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit. What about the behavior health shooting in Iraq?
Yeah, I wasn't tracking that name. I should have known, and I probably heard about it, but I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know it was in Iraq. I remember hearing something about it, but second of all, crazy that he knew that guy that did it, like personally.
Yeah, it's the other thing is like the situation is so fucked up. Like the dude was at behavior health, you know, like was you like, oh man, he was like, this behavior health place sucks, you know, like or did he like? I want to know like this, like what led up to it. There's so many questions when it comes to situations like that, but that's crazy that he knew him personally. And it's crazy that stuff even happens.
And this is going to be a little off topic, but we do whatever we want. So did you ever remember hearing the story about the guy in Iraq that dropped the grenade into the tent where the company commander and some other officers were? His name was Akbar.
No, I don't remember that.
So that was kind of a big story right at the beginning of the Iraqi war, maybe the second year of the Iraqi war. This guy, I think he was a supply guy or commo guy, got mad, dropped a grenade inside of the tent. I don't think anybody got killed. They got wounded pretty badly, though. The craziest thing about that is I knew a guy who was stationed with him when that happened, and this is this guy's words. I'm not going to use his name, but it's a real person. The soldier's name that threw the grenade was named Akbar, and this guy I worked with referred to him as Wacky Aki, and he told the whole story. Yeah, he told the story about Wacky Aki.
Still, even that, like, like throwing a grenade in a tent, like, especially like when you're overseas, like. You're not gonna fucking get away with that shit. Like, it has to be like spur of the moment insanity, because you're like what? You're gonna just go back to your cot?
Right? Yeah. You're definitely gonna get caught. I mean, there's no, you don't hear stuff like that happening, and then nobody catching the guy.
Yeah. Oh, not only that, like I don't know if every squad does this, but Merlin, in all his Sapper Ranger wisdom, we would track all our ammunition for the squad. So if that happened and I was the company commander, all I would have to do is be like, who's missing a grenade? Right.
Yeah. But you know as well as I do, though. I mean, I don't know how often Merlin inventoried your stuff, though. But I mean, who looks at that stuff every day? You know.
Well, we would have it in the truck and we would update it. He had it laminated and the oil markers, you know, so you could erase it. Mm-hmm. So like every time that we got in a tick, you know, each soldier would have their personal one, and then they could, after that mission, and that's how we would order ammo too, or anything we needed, is we would update it constantly.
Yeah.
I had the exact same one, and I think I did it the second deployment when I was a sergeant for my team. I know I did that for my team, but
yeah, it makes sense.
All right, moving on. I think Hodsdon had a great story, a great message, and he was pretty open about his own personal struggles with depression and stuff, which was great to hear, and I'm glad he got help and is doing better.
Yeah, that was good too. He really did kind of encompass what we were trying to go for here, and the same thing as Chris Tahoki. He gave out his personal number too. He did that voluntarily, so in case anything happens. But yeah, he gave out his personal number if anybody wants to reach out and talk to him too. And I think he'd be a pretty good person to talk to if you were in a pinch, and kind of in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm glad he is doing better, and I'm glad he took the time to share with us and share his message and just let other people know that he's there if you need him, and we're all there. And I like the thing that he said that veterans have to take care of veterans because we are the only ones. Like, who else is going to take care of us?
Yep, and that kind of echoes what Vincent Morales was talking about too. The Community of Veterans Project, and one of the other things I liked about Hodsdon's was the explanation of the wasteland stuff he does. Would you be interested in going to something like that, Andrew?
Shit, I'll do anything once, I guess. I mean, like you said, I don't know if I would want to participate in everything. Like he was saying, they play football or something with a dog head. I think I'd just rather sit and watch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's like a Renaissance festival without the Renaissance, I guess. But fortunately,
maybe after this COVID, we'll do a surviving as a civilian wasteland trip.
Exclusive, right?
Yeah, it'd be fun. I mean, it'd be fun to go try, I guess. It'd be kind of fun to make a crazy outfit too, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of rules you and I don't know about, but that's for down the road stuff. I don't know how soon that's going to happen. Speaking of down the road stuff, right. Andrew Collis.
Yeah.
Where is Surviving as a Civilian heading? What direction are we going?
We are shutting up shop and leaving.
Wait, what?
No, we're going to make some changes to Surviving as a Civilian. We are no longer going to do seasons. We are still going to do interviews. So if you are a first responder, paramedic, firefighter, police officer, veterans, and you want to be on the show and share your story and do an interview, please contact us at Surviving as a Civilian, casting.com. And we're going to do some changes because we don't get enough people to interview. So what are we going to do, Scott?
I don't know. I was hoping you were going to tell me.
Oh yeah. All right. We're gonna just start having a military-based discussion with you and I in a podcast every other week, I think.
Yes, Andrew. Okay, yeah. So I'm tracking now. So in between interviews and once we get interviews, we're going to publish them as we get them. We're no longer going to pair them, match them up, do whatever. We're not going to put them sequentially. As soon as they come in chronologically, we're going to publish them. Additionally, in the off weeks, every other week, you and I are going to have a different type of show. It's still going to be under the Surviving as a Civilian umbrella. However, we're going to call it Surviving as a Civilian Dog and Pony Show. And what that'll be more of an opinion / informative, kind of whatever we want to do type podcast where we sit down and talk about whatever we honestly want to.
It is still going to be military military oriented. We're going to still have some military topics, but we're also can talk about whatever the fuck we want to. It's going to be more of not such a serious show, more of just like a podcast where we're bitching.
Correct. And we're still going to hold on to the military type theme. Like, we will never probably talk about makeup tips or influencing or anything like that. However, it's going to be a little bit lighter side of the stories, the traditional stuff. It's just something to kind of keep us going, but cleanse the palate once in a while. Right, Andrew?
Yeah. The one drawback with what we were doing is it was just so serious all the time. So this is going to give us a little bit of an outlet to have some fun while surviving as a civilian.
Whatever it is, it's going to be great.
Tune in.
All right, Andrew, you got anything else?
No, that's it for today. We're going to try to make this new show, I guess. Dog and Pony Show.
Dog and Pony Show. Listen. Thanks for everybody listening. Appreciate all the support. Remember to check out our social media pages, Surviving as a Civilian on Instagram, Facebook. What else is there? All the photos we got from all the interviews will always be up on those sites. Andrew already mentioned the Surviving as a Civilian.casting. Other than that, that's all I got, Andrew.
All right, Scott. Let's get to work on the Dog and Pony Show coming in a few weeks. I don't know, whenever we want. All right.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Getting the message out about suicide prevention is a team effort. We need people to be brave enough to tell their stories. We need supporters to care enough to spread the word. If you have a story you want to share, please email us at survivingasacivilian.casting@gmail.com. And if you want to help share this project, like and subscribe to Surviving as a Civilian on Instagram and Facebook. The most important thing Andrew and I want to get across is that if you need help, get help. And if you can give help, please do it. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is at 1-800-273-8255. Until next time.